All right, what's up, roadies? How are y'all doing today? It is, what is it, February the 10th, the day after the Super Bowl. As you can see, number one, baby. We are number one, period. Go Eagles, fly, baby. We did our thing yesterday. I am so happy. Y'all have no idea. So I became it. Obviously, this video is welcome to the road trip. If you've never been here before, it'd be like this, very sporadic, very all over the place. But in the most like, there's, I promise, we're gonna get to the stop. Right, you have entered the road trip. Right, you've gotten on board, you strapped in tight, baby, and now you just have to prepare for the bumpy ride because it's gonna go all over the place. But I promise you, when we get to the destination, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, we got there. And there was a lot of information. Make sure you listen, make sure you pay attention, make sure you actually listen to the video before you just run to the comments just because you heard something that you didn't like at first, and then it ended up getting like fleshed out, and like now you look crazy, right? That's all I'm saying. Before we get into all this, okay, because I'm starting to go down the thing. Before we get into all of this, y'all, join the road trip if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel, y'all. Like, comment, all of the things. I talk about all things live music, all things music festivals, concerts, all of those things. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. It is literally my passion. It is my everything. And I wish I would have found it sooner, baby. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So join the road trip if any of these things sound fun to you. If any of these things sound appealing to you. If you want to get into some of the tea. If you want to hear some of the things. Yeah, just subscribe, y'all. But buckle up, baby, because when I'm behind the wheel, you never know where we gonna end up next, okay? And today is nothing different. We are about to take a crash course into how I feel about Kendrick's Super Bowl halftime performance for 2025. How I feel about the beef, really and truly. We're finally gonna get into a little bit more of the nitty gritty of it, and all the things. We're gonna talk about why this performance left my heart wanting more, and it felt a little flat, a little lackluster, a little anticlimactic, right? But also was an incredible performance, and was a sickening performance and legendary in a different way, when it comes to just cinematically and the messaging and the symbolicness of it all of the things, right? We're gonna get into all of it, right? So buckle up, baby, because it's about to go left and right and up and down and all the things. Yeah. So stay tuned for that, y'all. But first, I've got to get into Jalen Hurts, the Philly Eagles. We got to get into it, baby, because last night was a time. Last night was a celebration, on all accounts, okay? It was a big day yesterday. I was so happy to see them win. I became a Jalen Hurts fan first and then a Philly fan, okay? I was put on a Jalen probably like 2021, 2022, but I didn't really start to see Jalen until 2022, 2023 because my brother is a huge Philly fan, right? And so I'm always over there. He moved over to where I live now. So, like, I'm always over there seeing him, seeing the family, and watching the games. So, at that point, I was just watching, being a spectator, right? And then 2023, 2024 is when I first did fantasy, and I picked Jalen as my quarterback. I had A.J. Brown as my wide receiver and Devontae Smith as my wide receivers, right? And so that was my first year ever doing fantasy, and I think I got either first or second place, right, out of 10. And then this year, Jalen Hurts was my quarterback, obviously, and then I had Devontae Smith as my wide receiver. And so I got third place this year. Either way, like, still doing really well for this to be my second year in fantasy. But I say all that to say, like, I was just full of Philly, 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 Philly. And so it became like Jalen for sure is like number one, and then Philly. But like I was watching so much Philly that it just was like it was only right that I finally decided to pick a team. My first ever team that I was with was the Saints when I went to college in New Orleans for the first time. That was where I started to really watch football. And when I say really watch, like I was more so always in the mix of it because everybody else was watching. We're in New Orleans. The Saints are huge. So you just pick the team that you start riding with or that you first come in with. And so it was New Orleans, but they never won a Super Bowl while I was a fan. Even though I did see their win after Katrina, and I was with nothing but a house full of New Orleanians, if you will, because the girl that I was dating at the time, flashback, right? That I was dating at the time, she was from New Orleans, and so all of her family was there. It was a very historic, very beautiful moment. But yeah, so never has a team that I'm riding for went to the Super Bowl and won, and I got to witness it all, right? So now getting back into football, having Philly as my team, having Jalen Hurts as our leader. Okay, it's just been an incredible year. Saquon Barkley has been killing it. Cooper DeJean, baby, he's coming through when need to be coming through. My brother has really been teaching me, like, if the Saints was like my introduction and fun of football, Philly is now my, like, I'm really getting into the intricacies and understanding how everything works. And my brother telling me about, the Georgia line and like how everything is being built and how everything is going, and just really watching and like really getting into it. So just know, like, I'm actually a fan. Like, I'm learning and I'm really getting into the things. So don't let this fool you. Bitch, I'm a Philly fan. Fly Eagles fly. Okay, and we won. Period. So yesterday was great. Shout out to Jalen. Shout out to his fiance. Love that she's a black woman. Okay, love to see that. Okay, Jalen is just like the sexy quarterback that you just fall in love with, and I feel like the both of them deserve each other, just from some of the stuff that I've heard of her and like the things that she's accomplished and who she is. Shout out to her. Okay, shout out to her. She deserves him and he deserves her, right? They are a match made in heaven, and I'm loving it. I love to see that image plastered everywhere of them kissing and him being happy, and I love it. But just know, baby, you do have to share your man in spirit. You've got to share Jalen in spirit, baby, because he in spirit, he's my husband. In spirit, he's my husband. But I just love how Jalen carries himself. Jalen. We're 7 minutes in. Either way, Jalen fucking Hurts. Philadelphia Eagles. Congratulations on the Super Bowl win 2025. Y'all did what needed to be done. And I am extremely proud of y'all. Yesterday was fun. Yesterday was great. I do wish, though, because now that I'm doing a review and I'm not giving y'all the full, I wish I would have ended up staying at my brother's house, because I went there first and then I left at like second quarter just to get here to be able to do the live reaction, do all the things. But the video ended up getting blocked by the NFL. They said it was a copyright, all the things. So it was just like, and it was specifically the Not Like Us portion. And so I already wasn't the biggest fan of the lighting or the audio. The audio was really driving me crazy. So I'm okay with scrapping it. Yeah, and I'm going to give y'all little clips of it. And if anything, I might just intercut some clips now, like throughout my storytelling of it, the road tales. Or I might just give y'all a chunk of it at the end. We'll see. We'll see how it all pans out in the editing, right? But for now, you'll see little clips of it. I know that for a fact. But yeah, so I wish I would have just stayed there for the whole thing and then just came home, slept, whatever, and then just gave y'all a review and did, whatever, because that's ending up what we're doing now, so that I wouldn't have missed just the whole game as a thing. But it is what it is. Like, whatever. I still got to watch it. It was in between trying to edit and do stuff that I'm talking to people, and then I remember Devontae Smith catching I don't know how many yards, but all of a sudden I just look up. And this motherfucker launches that motherfucker. And he, baby, at this point, we're talking football. At this point, welcome to the Super Bowl halftime, or the Super Bowl show. Welcome to the Philly page, okay? But yeah, so I wish that I would have been able to really just stay and sit in it all and really have seen other people's reaction of the Super Bowl halftime performance. But it is what it is. Like I said, we're here now. And I feel like my thoughts are a lot more cohesive, a lot less in the moment. And I feel like ultimately, I love the performance. I gave Kendrick's performance when I first watched it a 9.5. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give the performance a solid... I'm going to give the performance a solid 9.5. And the reason I'm giving it a 0.5 is 9.5 and it's missing a 0.5 is because I feel like it's still... And what I said was missing was just like I felt like the catalog, the set list was very new versus giving us kind of an eras moment. But at the same time, in the beginning of the video, before he even performed, I had said I knew he was probably going to do something that was just new music based, simply because during his Super Bowl promo, he did his Apple Music interview with Ebro and Nadeska, and he was mentioning how he likes to be in the present, and he wants to stay in the present. He likes where he is currently, right? And I've heard that before from this one, Andre 3000, and he talks about how he doesn't specifically like to play old music. He likes to stay in the new because he feels like that time has passed and this is where he is now, and he feels a disconnect from that artist to his present self. And so that he didn't say all that, but he alluded to it, and reading between the lines, that's what I gathered, right? So I wasn't surprised that we only got did he do Humble and DNA? He did talk about how he likes to stay in the present. That's something that Andre talks about. Andre 3000 talks about is he likes to be in the present. He doesn't necessarily like to go back to old songs. And it's not that Kendrick said that exactly, but kind of, was kind of giving me that kind of essence, right? And so I am excited to see if Kendrick is going to play a lot of old stuff, or is he going to give us some new stuff. I want to hear Hey Now, Say Now. So yeah, I wasn't surprised that we only got new music, but I think it was more so the effect after that I felt that I was like, oh, I don't know if this landed for me. I don't know if it landed for me. And I will say, with the 9.5 is also the rose-colored glasses of Kendrick, the Kendrick effect. I love Kendrick so much, and I think that's lost on a lot of people, those around me, those online that don't know me. And it's such a surprise and a shock that people don't know this, because I think I rode for Kendrick for so long that I would think that would be commonplace. Hell, I met one of my close friends at a Kendrick concert. And I think they even, because she was like, I don't care what you say, tomorrow Kendrick's going to do his thing. And I'm like, of course. We were at the same show. I know. I love Kendrick. I think Kendrick is absolutely the greatest male rap performer of all time. I really do. I really believe that Kendrick is that. He holds the title next to Tyler, the Creator, right? At first they were fighting for a while, but I've had to since be like, no, it's Kenny. It's absolutely Kenny, right? But I know that a lot of y'all are new to my channel. Maybe I don't say it enough, right? But I feel like today is the day I'm going to give y'all my resume. I've already given the resume, but for all of us that are new and all of us that have forgotten, right? I'm going to give y'all my resume of my love for Kendrick, okay? So first off, we start with Buried Alive, right? That was my introduction to Kendrick Lamar through Drake, ironically. Okay. Next thing was the Spring Fling at Xavier. So Take Care came out in fall of 2011, and then our Spring Fling was in March, spring, okay, of 2012. So I saw him there. There was only about 50 of us in the room, 50 or 100 of us in the room. It was so intimate that we were literally telling him, there was only a barricade in between us. And it was a very small stage. It was in one of our ballrooms. And he was asking us what to play, and we were telling him, I've got to find the footage somewhere. I know I have it somewhere. I've got to find it. But it was that intimate, and that little people who were going to go see Kendrick, right? So been writing for him since then. Then when was this? He opened up for Drake in February 25th of 2012. Right? So actually, I think I saw him open up for Drake first and then the Spring Fling. Either way, both things happened in 2012, early 2012, right? So then I went to Black Hippie, right? June 12th of 2013. They were at the Verizon Theater here in Dallas. So that was a whole thing, right? Then we had the To Pimp a Butterfly album signing in Compton at the Best Buy. That's where I got these signed, right? And the funny thing about this too, which gave Kendrick extra points in my book, is that we were only allowed to get one thing signed, and it was supposed to only be the sleeve. We were only allowed to walk up there with the sleeve and get it signed. When I got to the line and I saw Kendrick, I was asking him, before I got up to him, I was like, will you sign both? Will you sign both? And the security was like, no, he's only taking one, da-da-da. And Kendrick was like, hey, nah, he's good. And he was like, bring them both. And he came, signed them both. I gave him, his flowers, and he was like, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Keep listening. Thank you. Boom, boom, boom. And I walked off and went about my day. Right? Period. All right. Then we have his Coachella headlining performance in 2017, which I waited to listen to Damn until I could see it live. And y'all know me, I'm a weekend 2 person, right? So I didn't see anything from weekend 1. I didn't listen to the album at all in my house where I was living at the time, Sacramento. Come on, stand up, all the Sacramento fellas. Like we loved Kendrick. Everybody was blasting it, and I would have to actively stay in my room, and I lived out in the garage, so it was a little easier, but I had to stay away from all Kendrick. I had to stay away from all Kendrick, right? So I waited until I got to Coachella weekend 2 to see it all live, and that was incredible. Okay? Then we have his Compton Christmas Toy Drive. We went to that in 2019. That's the one I got to see Chris Brown at. That was great. I went to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers tour. Saw that. I went to Flognaw, his headlining performance with Baby Keem in 2023. Saw that, right? And so I am a Kendrick stan. A lot of you won't even put the money into your favorite artist the way that I have. I'm just saying, like, I know lip service and y'all be watching things for free and y'all be doing all these things like that, but are you really investing in your favorite artists to allow them to keep putting out the work? Are you buying the albums? Are you buying the work? Are you spending the money on the tours? You spend your money on everything else, baby. If you really love somebody, you really riding for them, you ready to fight and you ready to disparage people and say all these things and ride for somebody as hard as y'all do. I hope. I'm going to assume that if you're arguing with somebody about Kendrick, that you have put in the money, okay? That you have helped build the infrastructure for him to do the things that he does, right? So that's why a lot of things be lost on me when I'm arguing with people about, specifically in the past year. That's why everything is lost on me when it comes when some of these conversations are had, because I'm like, baby, you wasn't in there shooting in the gym with us. You wasn't in there in the ballroom, okay? I'm just saying, I probably, and this is a testament to like people who are older than me and people who were way more in tune with music at that time. 2011 time, we didn't have social media the way that we did today, right? So if you were really looking for music, you had to be a digger of music. You had to really be in the know. You had to really be looking. You had to really be going to the sites. You had to really be downloading. You had to really stretch and dig for the stuff. So that's even a small percentage. I really believe I'm a part of like I'm the top 5% of people who really fuck with Kendrick like that, right? That really fuck with him like that from those days till now, right? And at that time too, living in them dorms in 2011, baby, my whole crew was from LA first and foremost, right? My entire crew was from LA. The whole dorm was bumping Section 80, right? Like this was the time of like, it was really, you don't know. Some of y'all really don't fucking know what it was like, that coming out and how it really hit the culture and how it, right? So when we get to a night like last night Super Bowl for me as a real Kendrick stan, when I look at a Super Bowl headliner, sorry, I got to get my coffee. When I look at a Super Bowl headliner and really doing that thing, right? I see somebody who is about to take us through the eras and what got them to this point. I don't think that a Super Bowl performance should be taken lightly. I think it's something that should be earned, much like I feel with Coachella. If some of y'all are here from, my Coachella stanship, whatever, like, then y'all understand this conversation that I've had before. Is like a Coachella headliner is somebody who has really worked to get to this point, because Coachella is supposed to be the greatest music festival in the world. And so in order for you to get that spot, baby, you've had to have done some work. You have had to have done some work to get to that point, right? And so that moment is to take us through and show us like why you are here, right? And so that's been my qualm with like Doja being a headliner. Is like, why is she a headliner now? It's just too early to me. Bad Bunny, Blackpink, like these artists, it's just for me a little early. Billie Eilish, right? Even though they can and did pack out, right, the area, like they did what needed to be done. They're going to bring the crowd, but I just feel like those moments to me are an Eras moment. I'm just saying. And so that's how I feel with the Super Bowl. I want to feel nostalgic. I want to feel all of the things. That's what I felt with Riri. Even though I wasn't the biggest fan of her performance, I enjoyed going through it all and dancing and singing and laughing and all of the things, right? I absolutely felt that with Usher. Like, Usher really did that. It was a celebration, right? And last night didn't feel like a celebration to me. It felt like there were too many undertones of hate and beef, and it was just, and at one point it was the whole thing, and I'm gonna get to how I think it could have been done and executed way differently and still had a way bigger effect, in my opinion, right? It would have really been T. But yeah, I just feel like it was supposed to be a celebration and it just did not feel like a celebration. It didn't feel like a celebration. It felt like the message was not lost on me. All of the things, all of the symbolism we love. I love seeing Samuel be like the narrator and Uncle Sam. That cunt, okay?
Oh, he got Samuel L. Jackson.
I love seeing the dancers and how they made the flag in that moment. Oh, that was.
Oh, it's the flag. That's cunt. Oh, and his hair's red. Oh, I love this. Oh, I wish I was a dancer. Y'all know I love me some dancers.
Seeing him start off, I thought that I knew that song. I thought that was, oh, what song is that? Count Me Out. I thought that was what it was kind of giving, the strums and stuff like that. I thought that was Count Me Out at first.
This is dun, dun. Yes, this is a strong Wait, maybe this isn't what I think it is. It's not. Come on, Kendrick. Live vocals, baby.
But it wasn't. It was something else, and I love that. I want to know what that is. I want to know what song that is. I loved when he was underneath the street lamp, and it was like a little beatbox, or they doing the little sounds and stuff as he's rapping "Reincarnated." I think that's what the song was, or "Man of the Garden." It was one of those. I didn't catch it until the second time I watched it, not on tape. So me being able to really digest it, I realized it was one of those.
Ooh. Here we go. What is this? I know those lyrics. I feel like. I like that bump.
That was such a dope moment. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. I just put them boogers in my chain. Peekaboo is absolutely my favorite. That was my favorite moment of the whole night.
Is this Hayes Down sitting there? Come on, niggas. I like that. Hey, it's not bad. Hey, no, this ain't it. Is this? Because listen, I wasn't a fan of GNX, so I wasn't really listening like that. Peekaboo, peekaboo. I just thought these was in my chain. Peekaboo. Yes, I like. I forgot about peekaboo. Hey. I like this. I like that beat. I ain't heard this one in a while, actually. I forgot about Peekaboo.
Peekaboo aesthetically was incredible. The song was incredible. The way that they was, bitch, hold on, I gotta put the coffee down. No. I said Peekaboo. I just put my, the way that that was T. That was T. That was T, y'all. Oh my goodness. The way that what was really nasty though, I love the way he kept teasing us with Not Like Us. I loved that. I thought it was cunt.
Ladies, I want to make a move.
Come on, ladies. They look good.
I want to perform their favorite song, but they love the suit. What song?
Oh.
Yeah, that song. Maybe I think about it. You know what? I slow it down. Say, ladies, do me this silent. Ooh. Oh, yeah.
I thought that was nasty. That was nasty. The way that he was teasing us was nasty. With the ladies, oh, that was sick. Let's slow it down. And when he slowed it down, I forgot SZA. We still had to wait for her. Like, that was incredible. I do want to note with SZA, I love SZA down. Y'all know this. If you've been a part of the channel, if you've been following, if you've been buckled in, y'all know I love SZA. However, she does not have the best voice, and she was not singing live. Anybody that's saying she was, I'm ready to argue it now. She was not singing live.
She's not singing live.
But I love that she performed. She did what needed to be done. She really gave it her all. She looked incredible. I loved the new mixes or the way that she was singing, the intonations and some of the runs and stuff. I loved that. The way she ended, I think it was All of the Lights. I loved the way she did that. There was a little run that I liked.
I like that. That was nice.
All of the things. SZA, incredible. I will say it was a little lackluster in making me feel like excited for the tour. I don't know. There was something about it that didn't really make me feel excited for the tour. But I am still going to go. I'm just going to probably not try to spend that much money on the tickets, right? And I may not go out to LA, but I do want to see it just to witness it. But yeah, the way that he did, entered into that was sickening, right? There were so many beautiful moments. And again, doing this message on the world stage. But I think for a lot of you, like when we're talking about, oh my goodness, the message and the symbolism, he's been doing this. He did this on the Grammy stage, right? Like, he has been putting these messages not only in the music but in his performances all the time. And so I think for us real Kendrick fans, and I'm not even saying that you have to be shooting at this point now. I'm not even saying that you need to be shooting with him in the gym back in the ballroom days type shit, or selling mixtapes out the trunk days type shit. But like, if you really, really, really love Kendrick, right? The nostalgia of it all I just don't know how you got nostalgia out of that performance, right? I don't know. The spirit was a little gone. It was just, and if again, that Kendrick has always been doing these messages. So for me, as somebody who's used to that, it wasn't the it didn't give me that like, oh my God, this message is just because we've seen this. It's not new. And I think he has songs that lend itself to that. And maybe if he didn't want to be all the way on the nose, I still think that he could have gave us a good germinal idea, right? He could have gave us a through line of the same message while still going through the eras. And let me walk you through what I really would have thought would have been fucking nasty, okay? Walking us through the eras, collecting your infinity stones, okay? Collecting all the artists that you've worked with along the way, building it all up, giving us that through line of the political stances, and giving us that through line of the black creativity, the black mind, the black evolution, black art, like giving us all of the things that encompass Kendrick from just being a real ass nigga, right? All of those things, still pulling us through the eras, still giving us those hidden messages, but also blatant messages, right? Through the eras to get us to Not Like Us. And we had Serena, doing her crip walk and stuff, right? Right? It mustard, okay? But it would have been sick if you had included everybody along your journey to show us how you got to this moment of the Super Bowl. The diss or the beef, because again, that version of Kendrick, that beef version of Kendrick is not a version that I like personally. I don't like that version of Kendrick. It is not the version of me of Kendrick that appeals to me. And so like a lot of the music was stuck in that. All of the songs had that undertone of the beef in that, versus taking us through that era, adding those little moments, accenting those little moments to tease us more. And then when we got to Not Like Us, all of the artists that you've brought out, or all of the moments that you've had, and you bring us to a field with a bunch of niggas in the industry dancing to Not Like Us on the Super Bowl world stage. Oh, that would have been nasty. That would have been nasty. Because now we're getting the nostalgia. We're feeling proud that Kendrick has done we've seen the career get you to this point, because a lot of you are jumping on at this point, and this is the biggest moment of Kendrick's career. And I think that as a Kendrick fan, it dampens this moment because it wasn't off the back of just him being great. It wasn't off the back of him just being great and like boom, he made this one song that was great that had nothing to do with just beef and hate and in many cases lies, right? And exacerbating rumors and things like that, right? Like if it was just a song and a moment that finally boom catapulted him into this stratosphere of the legend that he's been, but like this is that peak moment, I wish it wouldn't have been off the back of this. And that's what sours this entire beef. That's what soured this entire Super Bowl performance for me, is that it wasn't just off the genuineness of him and just him being great. That celebration of that would have been sick to get us to the point of, and now we're at Not Like Us. And as somebody who's not a fan of Not Like Us like that, I still would have thought that would have been such a more effective tool and so much more cunt, and still being able to tap into everybody. Not just the people who are new with this GNX era, which I'm not a fan of the GNX era personally. I think there's a lot of incredible songs. I think there's some great work in it, absolutely. But I'm just not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. That's just that. And so I think that he would have been able to touch on all of us, and it really would have left a more legendary performance. For me, I am not going to necessarily this is a forgettable performance for me, simply because it doesn't live in my heart. I think that it told a great message. I think that it was definitely a great moment to end out this beef, or however, because to me the beef is over. I'm over it. I've been over it, but it's done. It's dead at this point. You're beating a dead horse. Okay, you won. It is what it is. But I just feel like this performance was lost on me because it lacked the nostalgia, it lacked the love, it lacked the legacy. It was just too many undertones, to the point that it wasn't even undertones anymore. It was just blatantly just kind of hate and just kind of like, this is where we at, and I don't know. And that's unfortunate, because I wanted, as the Kendrick fan, and when I started that live reaction yesterday, I was like, I just want this to be a celebratory moment. Regardless of how I feel about the beef, I want this to be a celebratory moment where me as a Kendrick stan can celebrate one of my favorite artists getting on that Super Bowl stage and doing their thing and showing the world why they got to this point.
But I do want to say this video is nothing but celebration for Kenny. It's interesting because some of the people that I love, like close friends of mine or just coworkers and stuff, they all think that I hate Kendrick, which is crazy because I've always loved Kendrick. Like, I always have talked so much about Kendrick, how much I love him.
And that also plays into why I wish he would have given us through those eras, because there's so many people who don't know jack shit about Kendrick, who really don't listen to Kendrick at all. And this beef was their first introduction to Kendrick, and it's lost on them who he was, and they're seeing him as this person, and he's so multifaceted. And I want to say this too, because again, I'm also trying to get y'all to understand where I am when it comes to Kendrick and Drake and all of this too, is like, for me, Drake has always been Drake, and I learned that at an early stage, right? So the things that he's done and the way he is and how just Drake being Drake, it's never been lost on me. He's very much been a human in my eyes. Even though Drake is top. If Drake is 10, Kendrick is a 9.9 for me, right? And Drake is simply based off nostalgia and like the length that I've loved Drake. That's why he's as high as he is. But like, Kendrick is right up under him. And for me, it's easy to cut through Drake's bullshit and like continue to just be a fan regardless of all the bullshit he be doing, right? But like, for Kendrick, I've always put him on that pedestal, and I've always seen him as my savior in a way. And this beef really humanized him and showed me a side of Kendrick that I did not like, but I can still not like that side of Kendrick and still love Kendrick as an artist and as a person and who he is. Both things can be true. Right? I can still criticize him for certain things, but still love him and be a huge fan. And I think nowadays you have to love somebody fully no matter what, and you can't disagree with anything that they do. And if you do, that means you're not a fan. That's where I feel like we've gotten in society right now and as a culture. And I'm just like, baby, I don't give a. I'm going to do me, and I'm gonna like what I like, and I'm not going to like what I like. And it is what it is. And I can still love this person. You can't tell me shit. Because at the end of the day, you ain't spent the money that I spent. Drop a bag and then we can talk. Thank you. Anyway, so yeah. And for those of you who are new to Kendrick, welcome. These are the messages that he talks about in all of his music. All of his music is this deep. All of his performances are this deep. So, like, go back, check them out, listen, dive in, become a stan, become a fan. Like, really get into the work. If you love these messages and the things that he's saying, absolutely dive in. He's been doing this. So, like, dive in. Welcome. For those of us that have been here, we're kind of like, okay, cool. And I know those people. I see those people. I'm reading what these people are saying, and I understand what they're getting at. It's not that the message is lost on us. The message is not lost on us. We see it. We've been here. We've been with the message, right? We're not. I don't want to say fooled, but like that isn't like we want to see the thing that we saw our favorite artists like build up to. So we kind of got to like sit while everybody else is catching up, right? That was what this performance felt like for me. He absolutely told a story. He absolutely stuck to his word when it came to that. And that was beautiful. It was extremely cinematic, right? Extremely cinematic. And in those points, it was beautiful. But I think what it was tainted with was the hate and the vindictiveness. And I don't like Kenny what he say? I don't like we like Drake with the melodies, right? I don't like Kendrick with the vindictiveness. I don't like that. And if one thing I do want to know, at some point, we're going to need an explanation. At some point, I'm going to need an explanation for this beef. And I need it to not stop being sugar-coated, stop being like cryptic and all this kind of stuff, stop being steered away from. I want to know what your real beef is with Drake and how we got to this point. I need to know from his words, not from the pieces and Easter eggs and the symbolisms and I want to hear from your motherfucking mouth. What is it? What is it? What is the beef? Because the way in which y'all came to the way in which y'all got to, I'm so confused. And I need to hear on both accounts. I would like to hear Drake's position on why he felt like y'all got here. And Drake has talked this shit too. So I want to hear from his account. But I really want to know from Kendrick, how did we get to this point that you hated the nigga so much that you said the things and that you said and you did what you did? Like, I have to know. I've got to know. I've got to know. So we need that interview. Somebody, please get Kiki on it. Okay, get Kiki on it. I need somebody, though, to get a real interview with him, really breaking this down. I think we're owed that explanation for sure. Absolutely. 1,000,000%. I need that because I just have to understand. I think maybe that would allow me to understand more of this era, you know, and maybe appreciate it differently. But until I get that, I don't know if I will ever understand this era and ever appreciate it and ever like this version of Kendrick. I just need to know. I need to know. I really, really need to know. Now, another moment that I want to say that was funny and it's tea. It's really tea. Kendrick's been looking real good. The face has been a little more like defined. He just seems, he seems good. He seems, all the things. But what I think is funny in this performance too is the sassiness. Kendrick is a sassy girl. And again, y'all are going to try to come for me, but go back to the previous seasons. I've got 4, baby. So there's a lot for you to look at. There's a lot for you to pick at. There's a lot for you to digest to understand where I am today and what I'm about to say. Kendrick is sassy as fuck. And I think it's interesting that his whole critique, one of his critiques within the beef was that Drake acts like a bitch, a female. He's sassy, he's this, he's that, gay, whatever you may say, feminine, all these things. Like that was a jab that was being taken, right? Baby, I ain't never seen Kendrick as sassy as I saw him last night. He's one of the girls. And the reason that I'm going to say this is because I've also said this about Drake. Sips coffee. Okay, I have also said this about Drake numerous times where I want Drake to be like the queer icon. I want him to be one of the girls. I want him to be that. Because I love it. Drake is sassy. Drake is that. But Kendrick, you are too, baby. There was times where he was giving me neck roll, body roll, baby. He was giving body roll. Did y'all see him in them bell bottoms?
He look good. He fitting in them jeans. Those are giving bell bottoms. Now I know he can't be talking about Drake and his clothes and stuff, but he wearing them bell bottoms. I like them though. They're cute. They're real cute. I like that. Those are cute.
Baby, when he was coming down that way, it was sick. What a sick shot, baby. The cinematography, baby, deserves he deserves a raise. The cameraman deserves a raise, baby, because that steady cam and the way that was working. But baby, did you see him in them bell bottoms? First of all, they were tight on them thighs. The legs, bitch, I need those legs. His legs were cushioned in them bell bottoms, baby. And the way they flared out at the end, I said, "Oh my God, is he wearing bell bottoms?" Period. Okay, but he was giving very sassy. He was giving very sassy. So I think that also falls in line with some of the contradictions that Kendrick has voiced throughout this entire beef, where I'm like, well, what about you? Like, what about you, baby? And this is one of those moments, baby. When I saw him in them bell bottoms, and when I saw him cocking that.
That was cunt though. He's sassy. Oh, wait.
Because they like to sue. Like, it was giving that. And there's no problem with it because I'm gay. So I love that. I love when a man can be in touch with their femininity. And I'm not saying that he's gay. I'm just saying, like, he's sassy. He could be a sassy straight man. He can absolutely be a sassy straight man, but you can't call out another sassy straight man about his sassiness when you, in fact, are also sassy. And I loved it. It was very tea. Very tea. Them bell bottoms, them thigh tights, baby. It looked good, baby. And I enjoyed every bit of it. I love the sassiness, but baby, don't you ever talk about Drake being sassy when you was as sassy as you were last night. Okay? Because you were giving what the Gworlz needed. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. What else? Are there any other moments that I feel like I did not touch on? Oh my gosh, y'all. Squabble up. Oh my gosh. Y'all have no idea. I am. Squabble Up is one of my favorite Kendrick songs of all time at this point. It is the upbeat Kendrick that I have always wanted and always been looking for. It is turned up. It's everything. If we could take Not Like Us out and have replaced it with Squabble Up, the way that he added some of the digs in there and some of the, that is a sickening way for me, diss-wise, that I feel like would encompass who Kendrick is to me and how he does stuff. My apologies. He got kids with it. What that part, that's a nasty way to do a dig and be like, oh, that's sick. You're nasty. And I like that. You know what I mean? He did that real well. I love that. Or when he said, it was wolf tickets till I silenced her or whatever. Or let the dogs, I've been a dog. That part. All of these love that. The way that Not Like Us went, it just went nasty and sour and contradictory and left and odd. It got real odd. But Squabble Up, seeing that performance of Squabble Up, oh, I was up.
He looks good, by the way. He looks good. This is a new song. Oh, not the wrong guy. Ah! Yeah! I am. Wait, I need this to work. I need all my babies say what? Woke up. That come my Z. What? It's about me. Mr. Get Off. I get off in my. Woo! It makes me. Let's go. What? This is my shit. Come on, Kenny. They be thumping Nick. Oh, he looks good. It was wolf tickets. Hey. I would have preferred this over Not Like Us. I want to say that. Then the dog. I like that. That was a good little jab.
I love Squabble Up. From the moment I first heard it. When it began at the beginning of Not Like Us, the music video, baby. Oh, I was like, oh, what is this? I like this. And then to hear it in full, oh baby, I was turned up at work when I first heard that. I put my little niece onto it. I showed her because at that time the video wasn't even out, so I was showing her just the song, and she was in the living room turned up, baby. And now that's her song, and she be moving right. Love Squabble Up. Love Squabble Up. Love Squabble Up. And it's funny because even I like what is the song called? Hey Now Say Now. That's been on my head lately. That song, funny enough, I thought that was the Peekaboo. And so I got excited because I thought that was what was coming on. But then I was like, oh no, this is Peekaboo. And Peekaboo, bitch, Peekaboo. Let's get into it. Yeah, Squabble Up. Squabble Up is one. Squabble Up is one, baby. And that's what I'm saying. Kendrick was doing what needed to be done. Kendrick, live vocals, words being spit all throughout. I didn't notice until my homeboy Alec told me. But it was the second view that I watched. The mic was low. The mic was really low. I don't know why that was the case. So that is something that was a little thrown. But I don't know if I didn't really pick up on that until the second view. So it didn't bother me in the first view. So I can't add that to a critique necessarily. But I noticed it the second time I watched it. But still, like live vocals, hot mic. Kendrick is doing what needs to be done every single time. He's going to give you the live vocals and he's going to spit it. He's going to spit it every time, baby. He ate it up. Oh, he ate that up. Absolutely. So when I say tens, yeah, he's gonna perform. Absolutely. That is what is definitely gonna happen. However, right? It could still be missing something and still fall short of pulling on my heartstrings and tapping into the nostalgia and the legacy that I think his performance should have been. And so that's where I feel like it also is like, as much as it is a 10, is as much as it could be like a 7 or 8, right? And we can get into that for sure. Great performance. I'm gonna give it as a Kendrick stan. I'm gonna stick to my 9.5. I'm gonna stick to my 9.5. Well, if I'm just purely looking at it from a technical aspect, Kendrick did what needed to be done. That just wasn't a surprise for me. I knew he was gonna do it. I knew it's Kendrick. It's Kendrick fucking Lamar, baby. It was going to be an amazing spectacle. It was absolutely going to be an amazing spectacle, right? But I guess I would say as a Kendrick stan, I would actually rank it lower because it didn't hit my heart the way that I wanted it to. And so if that was the case, I'm going to give it a solid 8. Maybe even a 7. 8. I'm going to say 8. Because it just didn't hit my heart the way that I wanted it to. I love that he was doing it in front of Donald Trump too. Okay? What's T, baby? What's T? But I want to also note there's a critique going on about the people in the stadium and all that kind of stuff. I had said, because one of my homeboys was like, it'd be if Kendrick started the song of Not Like Us, did the shh, and then let the crowd sing. But I was like, baby, we are not at the pop out show on Juneteenth. Right? These are not all just Kendrick fans. These people are not going to know the music like that. They are not going to know the words word for word. They're going to know A minor. By the way, I do want to say, sickening the way he looked at the camera and said, say Drake. Woo! I was like, oh, this is nasty work. This is nasty work. You're sick. You're sick and you're twisted.
He looked at the camera. Did y'all see that?
And I love that. That was a nasty way. But yeah, those moments, I just knew that the crowd wasn't gonna be as engaged, and a lot of people are like, "Look, the crowd isn't engaged like that." Duh. I knew that they weren't gonna be. It wasn't gonna be a crowd of Kendrick fans. That is the entire beef. They only know the beef. And really and truly, a lot of people only know Not Like Us. Let's really get into it. And a lot of people are only on this bandwagon of Kendrick because they don't like Drake. Let's get into it. And I hate that is what, as much as maybe this is somebody, I don't know. Maybe it's just me as a deep Kendrick stan, but I just feel like I hate that any of this has to do with Drake. Because I've always seen them as separate entities. I love Kendrick for the messages, and I love Drake for the melodies. Okay? I do, but again, this isn't about Drake, and I want y'all to get into my videos about Drake because you'll know how I feel about Drake for sure. I love it. Love. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else. Let's go through some housekeeping things real quick before I wrap it up, and if something else comes to mind, then I'll add it. But got the weekend tickets. Yes, I got me some weekend tickets, baby. I am so excited to see him. I don't know how I forgot in my if you haven't seen it, my canceling Coachella this year. I have a whole lineup planned, but the weekend was not on it, and now he is. Got my ticket for that. We'll be going to see B in Houston. It's not called the Rodeo Ring. I don't remember what she titled it, but it's not the Rodeo Ring. B, you could have stole it, baby. I would have been okay with that. But yes, we'll be going to see B. Still gonna try to get that Bad Bunny Puerto Rico. That has to happen. That absolutely has to happen. So it is gonna happen. Khruangbin, Chris Brown, those are all coming. I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Kendrick and SZA. Right, but yeah, those are all the things. So be on the lookout for that. Artists you should know for Coachella this year is coming out, where I give tips on artists that I believe you guys should be keeping an eye out for if you're going to Coachella that you should see. So I'll be posting those in March. Yeah. I feel like I've covered everything as far as housekeeping things, and I hope that I've kind of hit the nail on the head as far as my feelings about Kendrick's Super Bowl halftime performance this year, 2025. I think that it was spectacular. I'll say it, and I know that people will be in the comments or people will be saying like he hates Kendrick. I'm not fighting it anymore. I've given you the resume. I've given you everything that I feel like I could give as far as showing you that I love Kendrick down. And I respect him so much, and I think he is the greatest, next to Outkast. I think he is, for me, the greatest rapper of all time. I love Kendrick so much. Outkast and Drake, right? But we're not going down that road. But I'm just saying, there's a cluster of three, and they always are fighting for their spots amongst each other, even though it's not between them, it's between me and my head. But I love Kendrick. I love Kendrick down, and so my critiques are nothing but from a loving place, and in some places a hurt place based on things, and what is it called, that when you have that relationship, oh my God, why am I forgetting it? But the relationship with an artist that isn't real because they don't know who the fuck you are, right? I don't know how I'm for parasocial relationship, I believe, with an artist. But yeah, so that's where I am. It can always be a pool. It can always be a pull because this music affects us. It touches us at our heart, right? It touches us to a point where all of this, the beef and two of your favorite artists going at it, is going to pull you in so many different directions, right? And so I just believe that the Super Bowl performance should have been a celebration, and it could have ended it could have been done in a way different way that I think would have been more cunt and would have been a lot more legendary for me. And yeah, that's where I am. We're at 43 minutes. I actually think that's a good solid time for the rant that I had. Fly Eagles fly, period. We won. Jalen Hurts, the team. Y'all, yeah, Philly, y'all did y'all's thing. And that's that, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Always, y'all know I'm down for the comments, period, point blank. So get in there, get into it, baby. We can always have the discussions. But if you like this content, if you're excited about some of the things that I told y'all are coming for this year, hop on board, subscribe to the channel. And Roadies, I will catch you on the next one. All right, y'all. Later.